gonna beat the shit out of you, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah, I swear to God. Like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. You are an easy fight.
Do whatever,
kill you, bro.
Turn to alcohol, try to drown everything out.
Yeah. I thought you wanted to try and say you're not a scumbag and you're gonna talk about my dad passing.
Face-offs, crypto scams, and lawsuits. Oh my. The Paul versus Danis drama continues, but first off, let's take a look at some leaked sparring footage. All right, so in this video, we see Dillon Danis. You're gonna see him on the left sparring and getting caught with some shots in an exchange. Boop, boop. If you look closely at it, it's just Dillon Danis with his head down, winging shots. Dillon Danis says this in his own words. Shane Mosley was right. The Pauls send spies into camps for any advantage because they suck. So listen, this is the reality of it. He doesn't look great. He's still sparring in a situation where it seems like he's in a jiu-jitsu or MMA gym. He's not in a boxing gym, which is pet peeve of mine. And if it's true, and the Pauls sent someone into camp to shoot some footage, that's pretty savvy of them. Also a little shady, but we know what you're here for. We want to take a look at the face-off that went down. Let's get into it.
You sent me so many messages.
You sent me messages too. You unsent them all them. Then why am I?
Mr. Mumble Jumble stumble his way through a sentence.
Why'd you fight me then? Because you know what I burned.
You're a good troll. I'll be honest with you. Your Twitter's fantastic.
I don't buy that, right? He's saying that the Twitter's fantastic, but we all know how you really feel about it. It's affecting him emotionally. There's no doubt about it. He's trying to give credit to give off the vibe as if it's not bothering him. It's not affecting Logan.
Is that you running it?
Of course it is. You know that.
Good for you, bro.
Troll? Not a good fighter?
No.
I'm not a good fighter. You said I was a good fighter. A real fighter.
You know how long it's been since you last fought?
You dealt with knee injuries. You dealt with knee injuries.
I have a running counter going on. DildoDanis.com.
All right, so let's check it out. We got to look at the website, right? Dildo Danis. It's been 1,551 days since he's last fought. It's just basically a countdown landing page for the most part. Nothing much to see, but very clever from a marketing perspective on Logan Paul's part.
Real fighter? Explain this, real fighter.
Okay, so why won't you fight me in MMA then?
What happened here?
Because I'm like a man. I fought 6 guys, and when your brother got confronted by 6 guys, he ran away like a
Okay, so just with that Dillon Danis situation, I've covered this in the previous video that showed him getting choked out by a bouncer. Dillon getting choked out by a bouncer, giving the thumbs up.
He's like, I'm good, let me go.
When I covered that bouncer video in the past, a few of you guys said, well, he was fighting multiple people, you didn't cover that. I don't have the video footage of him scrapping with multiple people. Do you guys have it? Maybe you do?
What happened here?
I just told you.
I see a jiu-jitsu guy getting choked out.
Okay, you try choking me all the time. Why did you want to fight me? You want to fight in the UFC, but you can't
check
fight me?
this out, Dillon. You're obviously a piece of
One that's a piece of
Tell you what. If you show up to this fight, October 14th, I will rematch you in MMA.
All right, leave a comment below. Do you think Logan Paul is going to actually keep his word, providing he either wins or loses? He's going to have to fight Dillon Danis in an MMA match.
So guess what I did? I took the liberty of finding the bouncer that choked you out.
And I hope he's here.
Yeah, he's in this room right now.
Bomb drops. A lot of you guys are going to say, oh, Logan's too premeditated with his shit talking and his marketing is very canned and overly presentational. I'm going to say that took a lot of effort. He also has the resources, but I thought it was pretty clever.
He lives with his mom, so you're giving him a good payday. So
you live with a friend on your couch, and you tweet about my fiance all day.
Totally.
Your Twitter account is a Logan Paul, Nina Agdoa fan
I'm the one that
page.
built this fight. You haven't said
Why do you guys do that?
Look at me now.
Okay, I agree.
20
You're in
minutes
WWE.
late.
What's it called? You should know how to promote a fight. You don't know how to promote Who's selling this fight more?
Both of you doing a good job right now.
Ah, diplomatic answer. We know who's selling the fight better, Dillon Danis. Now, is it tastefully done? Is it done in a way that I would recommend? Probably not. But the fact of the matter is I wouldn't be covering this fight if it wasn't for Dillon Danis.
I don't like Bradley Martin. Trust me, I think we both agree on that. You think I like Bradley Martin? He's a
They're both agreeing on the fact that they don't like Bradley Martin. By the way, if you haven't watched my Bradley Martin videos, I'll link that at the end of this video. Definitely check them out.
You lie about everything.
What did I lie about?
You lie about wanting to fight 8 rounds.
I don't mind doing 8 rounds. Let's do 12 rounds.
Then respond to us, bro.
Of course. You think I would? I was the one saying was do 10 rounds.
Will you do 8 rounds?
No, look at your arms. You came in last like 2 minutes,
so
bro.
will you do 8 rounds?
Yeah, sure. Will you do USADA testing?
I will do a USADA test. You do an STD test, and the result is public. I will do a USADA test.
Also, what's being said is true about Dillon Danis. It's a guy who looks incredibly bloated. Look at his face. Doesn't look healthy. You know, a guy who abused his body in his prime years, drinking alcohol and smoking weed, and it's unfortunate. But the guy on testosterone is definitely going to have an edge on the guy who has been boozing for the past 3-4 years.
Let me ask you, if you do show up, do you think you're going to win?
Of course.
Yeah?
I bet I knock you out.
How much?
I made a bet to you.
What was it?
I said if I win, I had to be the best man at your wedding.
Okay.
Okay.
And if I win, I get your entire purse.
Sure.
So here's what's gonna happen.
Go ahead, send me the contract.
I'm gonna shake your hand. I'm gonna send you the contract.
You do this every single time.
And you're gonna ghost us like you ghosted us.
You're gonna ghost us too, so how are you gonna guarantee I'm your best man?
Contract.
These guys are both scammy as fuck. They can say one thing in the public domain and then completely go back on it.
Contract?
I will sign you an executed contract.
Bro, I'm gonna be standing right next to you.
Fine.
Bro, you don't know how to box. How you think you're gonna win? How you think you're gonna beat me?
That's the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, Dillon, you don't know how to box either. We just reviewed your last sparring footage. Both of these guys are not really boxers.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah. I swear to God. Like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. You are an easy fight. Bro, you think you know how to fight? You don't.
I think Logan's missing what the prior argument was. It was about fighting, not boxing. So Dillon Danis' point holds true. If they would have a fight, it's a matter of time before the fight goes to the ground, and Dillon's advantage there, even if he's no longer in his athletic prime, I don't know what the argument would be. Dillon Danis is gonna have that distinct advantage. Now Logan's gonna try to skirt the conversation over to boxing.
Yeah, don't worry. This boxing.
And what sport is this?
Don't worry.
What sport is it?
Maybe I'll choke you out.
It's boxing.
Maybe I'll choke you out on there.
I don't think you can.
You don't think I can?
I don't think you can. I don't think you're gonna do shit to me. I think on that night I'm gonna do whatever the I want.
Tell me, how do you think you're gonna beat me?
I'm definitely gonna knock you out in round 6.
Knock me
I'm gonna
out?
make you suffer. I'm gonna make you suffer every single
Bro,
round.
you're a singular shot fighter.
What's my record?
0-1? 0-2?
My record's 1-0. 0-0. 0-0.
Huh?
That's 10 billion, brother. And that's the value of the company I built because I lost.
That was corny. I mean, yeah, you're making good money off of selling sugar water to kids, but at the same time, you're still a scam artist who scammed those same fans, and you're also a person who isn't good at boxing, which is the argument that we're covering here. You made money, right? That's not synonymous with being good at the thing that we're talking about, which is boxing.
I don't think I'd be for
He
it.
can't even brag about it anymore. He lost in 12 rounds with like everybody now. Did you give him a black eye? You didn't hit him?
I didn't hit Floyd.
Yeah. And you hit a 150-pound guy. You didn't even rock him.
What film have you been watching?
The fight that you with Floyd. I actually didn't watch it, but I just saw some highlights.
Same. I didn't watch it. There was a point in time when Logan Paul was talking about the fact that, you know, I think I won that match. But if you watch this clip here, you can see in the match with Logan and Mayweather, Logan is actually asking Mayweather to take it easy on him.
It's pretty funny how Logan Paul walks around acting like since he lasted 8 rounds against Floyd Mayweather, he technically beat him.
Now, I'm sure he doesn't like that video leaking, but I'm sure you guys like this video.
You saved his life in New York?
Yeah, he knows the story, and I don't want to talk about it too much because he's all
Why
about
not?
lawyers and and suing
What are
people.
you talking about? I've not sued anyone.
You sent me a cease and assist, wherever the that is. I'm
Dylan,
I will prove it. I'll prove it. I will.
Post it then.
I will.
And it's probably gonna be Photoshopped. No
Okay,
one's saying
my
shit.
he says everything's Photoshop.
Cease and desist for what?
All right, so this is interesting. This was recorded before everything went public with his girlfriend, or fiance, I should say. So let's take a look at the reality of what actually happened. Logan Paul's fiance, Nina, actually sued Dillon Danis, and she seeks a restraining order. So apparently what he was referring to, Dillon Danis, I'm saying, is accurate. Check this out. This is bugged out. Nina's lawsuit claims that Danis has posted despicable things about her more than 250 times since his fight was announced with Paul. My perspective was these are publicly available images, so how are you going to sue someone for sharing something that's public? Her argument is that Danis managed to hack her account and obtain a private video, which in that case is obviously illegal.
You don't even know.
I don't know what the f you sent me that for. I was like, those are real pictures.
Yo,
I
you don't
give
read
a shit.
contracts, huh?
No,
That's
I
what
get
you got-
people to do that for me, buddy.
You
Not
got
like
caught
you.
for scamming. Where were those people when you got caught for scamming?
I didn't scam nobody. You
Oh yeah, you literally signed a contract that said I am agreeing to scamming my audience.
You pay your fans back.
Scamming
you pay your
Danis,
fans
huh?
back.
Okay, so 2 scam artists calling each other out. As of July 14, 2023, Logan Paul still hasn't refunded fans who lost millions on the CryptoZoo game. This article is more recent. Logan Paul promised to repay crypto victims 1.3 million, but the tracker shows it's not happening. This is in August of this year. So once again, what Logan's saying versus what's actually happening in reality are in direct contrast. But let's not just play one side of the street. Dillon Danis is also a scammer. As you can see here, this is a YouTuber who tricked people on 20 different occasions. But we can clearly see that Danis was a part of some pump and dump schemes. Look at Danis here. One of the best crypto projects I've ever seen has launched. But look, it immediately started, pumped, and dumped very shortly after, within a few months after actually launching. Baby Ninja token is the next Shiba Inu, growth, blah, blah, blah. But what he does say in his defense, if you read the ending, is do your own research. That does kind of protect him, I would assume, in law.
Your actual jiu-jitsu record is
fake-
18 and 16.
What's your fake wrestling record?
18 and 16.
0-4? You gave him a win a fake
18
fake
and
match.
16.
This is another really poor argument. Anyone who's involved with the jiu-jitsu community or the MMA community is going to look at Logan as a moron. He's 1-3 in ADCC. He competed at ADCC. The argument's over. Anyone who's ever competed at ADCC, regardless of weight class, will submit Logan very quickly.
You suck at the thing you're even supposed to be good
Then
at.
why did you
bro.
fight me in MMA? Why'd you do boxing? The Bellator bag was
What did
bigger
I say
than the
at the
boxing.
beginning of this? We made a
Okay,
bet.
yeah, I'm talking about in the beginning. In the beginning, when we were gonna fight, Bellator offered you a bag to fight me in MMA. It would have been
I'm
bigger.
not gonna fight with Bellator.
Oh, we're gonna fight what UFC?
But you know what's funny
We're gonna
about-
fight Patty
you know what's
Pimblett.
funny about
He was a
Bellator? You had to pay Bellator 100K
I did, yeah,
just to be allowed to fight here.
It did suck.
Because even your boss, Scott Coker, knows you're not cut out for MMA.
No, it's not that. It's because
No, it is that,
It's
Dillon.
because they work with Showtime, I think. So it's a competitor. So he doesn't really know. He doesn't pay attention to stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, there's this argument that Dillon Danis can't fight. This was actually Dillon's last fight. Let's take a look at the way he moved, and just so we can get an understanding of what his actual potential is as a fighter.
Danis in the red gloves, Humphrey in the blue, round number 1. He needs to get to a
Doesn't move his head, doesn't read shots. That's going to be the issue against a big Logan Paul.
point in an MMA fight where he is not only
Shoots the double leg.
by Danis.
Aggressive with the ground and pound from here, as you can see. But if you don't think Dillon can grapple, I mean, that's just a ridiculous statement. He would submit Logan Paul. Unless Logan knocked him out, of course. Look how he strips the grips here from the top position. Hammer fist here. Hammer fist, hammer fist, hammer fist. Unties the hands, you'll see. Good hammer fist from this position. Peels the secondary wrist. And then attacks the primary hand and goes belly down for the finish. Now, obviously, this was over 1,000 days ago. This isn't the same Danis, but to think that he can't grapple at a high level still is a little silly. He just needs to get his body in shape. That's actually a fight I want to see over the actual boxing matchup. Who wants to see two non-boxers box?
I heard you didn't even show up ADCC 2019 because you're so heartbroken.
I have a lot of injuries, bro. I'm a real fighter. I hard.
His argument is that the reason he didn't go into ADCC is because this girl Savannah dumped him. Savannah Montano, never heard of her until just now, used to date Dillon Danis. As you can see them together, apparently Jake Paul hooked up with her.
Dillon, I know you're watching this, and just remember you're still a bitch, and I hooked up with your girlfriend. Savannah, what's good? How you doing?
She dumped her ass, bro. She
You're
dumped her
marrying
ass
this
because
slut.
you cheated.
You're marrying
on her.
this slut.
Tell her.
You're marrying this slut.
Tweet about it.
You can, yeah, I will. Don't worry.
We'll tweet about it, bro. I know that your life's gone downhill ever since you got kicked out of Marcelo's gym.
Stop.
I get it.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You know a little bit.
Turned to alcohol, tried to drown everything out.
Yeah.
Your
I
dad
thought you wanted to
passed
do
away.
it.
You
Yeah,
lost
he
two
did.
friends.
Talk about that and see what happened. Trying to say you're not a scumbag and you're going to talk about my dad passing?
I empathize with you, Dillon.
Okay.
Because I understand that Twitter right now for you is like a group therapy session.
Yeah.
What really caused that switch in Dillon, at least from my perspective, having McGregor as his mentor, and that's who his sparring partner was, I think he mimicked that behavior and that lifestyle without actually achieving the accolades. And I kind of have a parallel experience because my mentor growing up was George St. Pierre. I went to the clubs with George, I traveled the world. We would be in the club leading up to his fight and he would never drink alcohol. So for me, I always had that responsibility, at least in my own head. He would go, Steve, go ahead, have a drink. And I would always be like, nah, I'm not drinking tonight. Because my mentor was a person who had great character, I kind of reflected that in many ways. Both of these guys are clearly morally corrupt. If you guys are interested in developing a stronger code of conduct, then check out my mailing list down below. We focus on discipline and mindset. What I always say is your level of success is never going to surpass your level of self-development. As always, Strangle Gang, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one.